Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. We're just at about 7:33 a.m. This morning, and indeed we're preparing to welcome our guests joining us online. Adanna, who do we have joining us online this morning?
We are speaking with Irvin Paddier, President, Founder, Men of Purpose, and he is online and joining us this morning. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for this interview.
Yes, indeed. And we get the conversation started. We're diving right on in. Interesting focus for the workshop. The world needs a father. And I wondered, and Adanna and I were just discussing off here, would this just be a focus on God? Is this about the role of men and fathers? So tell us a little bit about this workshop. The world needs a father.
The World Needs a Father workshop is taking place right in lovely Tobago. Not that I need an excuse to come back to Tobago. I'm from Trinidad, but I love Tobago. But it's happening on the 15th to the 17th of March. That's this Friday to Sunday. The World Needs a Father workshop is a workshop that was conceptualized by a man by the name of Cassie Castens from South Africa. And as a missionary, he realized that being a white missionary from South Africa, he realized that he needed to reach the black population. And what he did to reach them was sports, football. He was a rugby player, a national rugby player. But most black Africans, they don't like rugby because rugby was considered a white sport. So to bridge the gap, he used, as we know it to be football, soccer he calls it, to bring the black South Africans into his camp because they were all in refugee camp. And because of the great success that he received from that program, he realized that a lot of the youths that were coming into that camp were fatherless. And from then on, he started to research and realizing now that fatherlessness is great around the world. Fatherlessness is one of the great problems of society. And to bridge the gap that we have right now to reach the young people, we intend to raise men, leaders from different communities in Trinidad and as we are doing right now in Tobago to reach men to become mentors, to train other young men because it may sound strange, but one of the reasons we are doing this workshop is to remind the man who he really is.
And I like
That's the
that.
main concept of it.
I like that because a man knowing who he is, he has so much power. We just celebrated International Women's Day,
Yes.
and Julian is advocating for us to have that emphasis also when International Men's Day come. And I always say to people around me that when a man knows who he is and he walks in that power, he can be so amazing. So I like the fact that you're talking about a man knowing who he is. What are some of the activities that will be taking place at this workshop to reach your goals of empowering and mentoring young boys?
Oh, great question. Well, we had a workshop last year in Victory Heights. And that workshop, as you probably know, Victory Heights is a camp. So the workshop took a camp sort of feel. So imagine having men 3 days in a camp, just talking, just bonding and just fellowshipping and just learning. This workshop Friday to the Sunday, we'll be doing training, in-depth training, such as father wounds, a man confirms potential purpose, and his role as a father and as a man in the home. He creates the temperature in the home. That's speaking on terms of just the basic concept of the training. But on the Saturday, we are taking a break from the training and we are heading to Canaan Bonaccord Recreation Grounds to do some bonding, or as I call it, sports fellowship. We are going to do some cricket, probably some football. We are going to meet with some of the young people in the area. We are going to have basketball, some fun events. We want to have a father versus sons type of small goal competition. So we want to invite the community to come out. This evening will be for the entire community, not for men only, as the workshop is. On the Sunday, after the workshop finishes, we want to invite some of the young men from the area and the community again to come and take part in spoken word. We're going to have a concert. We're going to have the men probably do some special songs on the workshop, so we'll be spontaneous and we're going to see some real Tobago talent being showcased during this time. After that, we have a rites to passage graduation ceremony on the Sunday. So it's going to be very, very excited, and I'm looking forward for this great workshop in your lovely island.
All right. And I'm happy that you would have mentioned the fact that the lineup of activities caters openly in terms of families coming out and support, with the exception of the workshop itself. I want you to give us a sense of the age group or the target for persons that you are looking at from our men folk for the workshop. What's the target group?
The target group is men 18 to beyond. That's
All
the
right.
target group, 18 to beyond. Because you will agree or disagree if you want to that just because you turn 18 doesn't mean you're an adult, or just because you are a 50-year-old man doesn't mean that you are able to guide another man. There's a crisis that's going on in the world today that we have 40-year-olds that are still hooked on their PlayStations and their Xboxes, and they can't relate to being that man. We have a crisis of identity, which we'll be targeting, because we need our men to understand who they are and their purpose in the family, in their community, and in the nation. So I believe if we start building these men from this place, we will have a better family. We'll have wives not complaining as much, and we'll have children loving their fathers once, and we have the community respecting the man once again.
It's really amazing how you have connected it, because I always make the point, a happy home really leads to a better community, ultimately. And we
Yes,
know that if
that's
we
right.
know that if the ladies aren't so happy, sometimes what can happen in that home. Not that we are here to speak about that, but we're just saying it is important to note that the collective of the home is important to be happy, so that we are able to move our society
Yes.
forward in a particular direction. I want to just get from you very quickly before we close this morning's interview. Men of Purpose is the organization hosting. Tell us a little bit about the organization, and is it open to persons who may be involved in providing that level of support and being a part of the organization of Men of Purpose?
Men of Purpose has been an organization that was founded over 13 years ago by myself. I'm the president and founder of the group. I will let you know something. It's open for any man, any man. But the group is not limited to men. In fact, we have a lot of women working in the background. You would be surprised. This workshop wouldn't be successful as it is without women working to support the men of purpose. So we have a connection. We have what we call a community working together to lift up men. This group was founded on myself seeing the need to reach out to young men. I myself have been very grateful to have very, very significant men in my life. My spiritual
Yeah.
father, who is dead and gone, the late Bishop Ruben Daniel, a man that pushed me into purpose from a very young age. And my father was there, very instrumental there to guide me. A man of very few words, but was able to push me, never discourage me. In fact, he will be a part of the workshop, my father. And I have a community of men that was able to instill in me values. But growing up, I realized that some of my peers didn't have what I had, didn't have that type of background. I could have been doing anything, anywhere right now, making excuses why I should not be the man that God called me to be or the man that I should be. But because of these principles, because of God being instilling in my life, men of purpose was born out of this need. And from since then till now, we have been doing workshops, conferences, seminars to help men become who they are. Right now, our focus is these workshops. This workshop, the world need a father, these 3-day workshops. After these 3-day workshop will be completed, we'll be doing 1-day workshops
Yes.
all around the country called In the Man Cave. That's another session that I would invite you to be a part of. You would love it. It's men coming together, no phone, no social media, no woman, just to talk about what's affecting the man and how we can improve as men. So our focus right now is to
That's some of
train
the men.
trainers. This workshop, yes, this workshop is to train traders,
Yes.
training men how to train other men, and the men who are coming to this workshop will be able to go back to their organization, to their churches, to the community, to their family, train their sons, train their co-workers, and train their entire nation
All
to
right.
become
Certainly.
men of purpose.
Thank you so much indeed. And I'm already thinking of men, putting aside those devices and really coming together. Get ready, Anton Parks, Mr. Nana himself, Iran, the entire team, Friends of Tobago Updates. Excellent, excellent opportunity to reflect from a different perspective, because we've gotten so engrossed sometimes with the technology in itself. We at times lose focus, so it gives that ability for refocus. So we want to remind you, viewers, we've been speaking with Irvin Paddier, president and founder of Men of Purpose, and we're looking out for the upcoming workshops. The World Needs a Father, series of activities, and we're encouraging you to head on out and support. Viewers, we want to thank you so much for continuing to tune into the Tobago Updates morning show, and we take this opportunity to remind you that this is your chance to share the live, share the live, share the live.